Final round action at the John Deere Classic. TPC Deere run, and oh, they were running. 54-hole lead belonged to Brendan Todd, but that did not last long on Sunday. World number 37, Sepp Straka. Start of the day, 4 shots back, goes out in 28. Birdie at the last would make it 59, but that one's wet. The hopes of 59 out the window. Straka having to scramble for bogey. That one misses on the amateur side, so a double bogey at the last for Straka. Still a 62, still the leader in the clubhouse, but now left to sit and wait and wonder, what if? So here comes the man who held that 54-hole lead, Brendan Todd. It was a one-shot advantage, and he was just left to look at the leaderboard as Straka carded birdie after birdie throughout the day here at the par 3 16th hole. Todd at 20 under, one off the lead. If it goes, he'd be tied at the top, but there was meat on that bone. The par look coming back. Straka now cemented as Todd pushes one over the edge. Sends him back to 19 under. It would have taken an eagle at the last to force a playoff, and that did not come to pass. So Sepp Straka is your winner at the 2023 John Deere Classic, a 62 and 21 under total, enough to get it done for the player who was 60-1 entering this tournament. It is the second career PGA Tour win for Straka, and with it comes some invitations. The Century Tournament of Champions next season, the Players, the Masters, the PGA Championship, and a full exemption through 2025, not to mention the winner's take of $1.3 million.
What did it take to fight through this and end up on top for your second victory?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was a putter, a little bit of a tweak in my putting setup. My putting coach, Tim Yelverton, texted me on, was it Thursday night? Said my toe was sticking up a little bit, so hands a little higher, and all of a sudden it just got hot. So yeah, just pumped to be here.
Your coach, John Tillery, texted me. He said the floodgates could not stay closed for much longer. You have been working so hard behind the scenes. Give us some insight what that work looked like and how satisfying it is to see it all pay off.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We've been putting in a lot of work on the ball striking side. Yeah, it's just been a routine that I've been following, and it's really worked out. My ball striking's been really consistent over the last few months, and the putters come around now. So yeah, pretty pumped about that.
Well, we saw your guys, Keith Mitchell and JT Poston, congratulate you. But Andrew, I'm pretty sure that's because Sepp now has to pick up the bill for the entire house. So JT Poston almost just as happy as Sepp. Congratulations.
That ain't going to be a problem, man. Amanda, we appreciate you. Adding some context here to this latest conquest. Straka opened with a 73, 2 over on Thursday. Played his final 54 holes in 23 under, enough to get it done and cash the big check. For more, we head back out to TPC Deere Run, where our guy Doug Bell is standing by, CBS Sports golf analyst. Doug, you took the walk with him. 58 was not out of the question. 59 squarely in his crosshairs. Can you give us a sense of the moment over those final 2.5 hours of Sepp Straka's round?
It was exciting, and I kept saying, gosh, if he birdies this hole, if he birdies this hole. And then it came down to 17, the par 5. Well, everybody's going to birdie 17, right? He misses a 7-footer. And then at 18, okay, it's a difficult hole, but the way he's playing, yeah, hit a great drive. And lo and behold, he plunks it in the water. The double bogey, and that opens the door like it always does in the back nine on a Sunday at the PGA Tour. And unfortunately for him, he hung on to win, and it was exciting. His second win on the PGA Tour. And, Joe, it opens all sorts of doors for him, as you mentioned just a moment ago. But also think about this. He's from Austria. Luke Donald has to look at this guy for the Ryder Cup. He's never played in the Ryder Cup, and I think right now he's clearly on the radar screen for the European team for the Ryder Cup. So this was an absolutely gigantic win for Sepp Straka in his career.
The pressure of a 59, the always pressure-filled event that is the Ryder Cup. We'll see what Luke Donald takes away from these 18 holes and maybe the 18th hole of the day. But opening round, as we said here, 73, Doug. To get it done at one of these types of setups where it's going to be a birdie fest, Scotty Scheffler spoke to it last week about his experience at the Travelers. If you have an off day, it's hard to win. He has an off day to start, and he still wins. What does that tell you about what this guy did over the final 3 days of the tournament?
Well, it tells me that he's playing really well. He's got a lot of confidence. And this was interesting, Joe. I interviewed him right after Amanda, and I asked him, going from 73 to 62, how do you do it? He said his coach called him, his putting coach, after the first round, saw him on television and said, I clearly see the toe of your putter is up too high. I saw it. And so Sepp makes that change. That's the thing about golf and how good these guys are. You can see just a little subtle change, and suddenly his putting goes crazy, second, third, and obviously the final round. So, yeah, the putting was fantastic. Tells you how tough this guy is, Sepp Straka. Internally, he's built like a tight end, and he played like one today as he bulldozed the field and then had to hang on to win the John Deere Classic.
Doug, we appreciate you. I went 91-81 this week and thought that was a worthy change. But Sepp Straka from 73 on day 1 to 62 on day 4 is your winner at the John Deere Classic. And here's a look at some numbers to go along with this victory. A final round 62 is the lowest of his career. And you think about it, he walked off that green with near tears in his eyes and not ones of joy after the double bogey at the last. But it's all about how you frame it. And this is one to frame for Sepp Straka, his second career PGA Tour victory. And for more, we head into 18 Tower with the 1991 champion golfer of the year and CBS golf analyst Ian Baker-Finch is standing by. Ian, quite the journey here on Sunday. A double at the last, not enough to undo a career day for Sepp Straka. The gamut of emotions, I'm sure. Your emerging thought is what?
Well, as I said during the show, it's very difficult to walk off the last green having shot 62 and feel disappointed. But I'm sure that's how Sepp Straka was feeling after dunking his second shot into the water. And at the time, feeling like he'd given up the opportunity to win. He had a 5-shot lead at the time. But as it turned out, he ended up winning by 2 because the guys chasing him an hour behind couldn't get the birdies when they needed them to finish. So a great win for Sepp. It's a Ryder Cup year, which is a great bonus for him. He'll be right up there. And the guys, Luke Donald, Captain Luke Donald, and all of the assistants will be looking at Sepp to be a part of that European Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, Captain Luke Donald having plenty to look at here Sunday with Ludwig Aberg doing what he was doing earlier in the day. 58, as we said, was sort of the pace there, going out in 28. 59 squarely in his crosshairs. 62 ends up being plenty. Ian, I know you can only speak to your own experience, but what's stirring within a player when you're approaching such heights?
Well, when you're having a great round like that, it happened to me a few times, you just have to try and keep doing what you're doing. Don't try and back up or play safe. Have a go, keep trying to make birdies, keep trying to get ahead. Now, when it gets to the point where you've got to make a birdie to shoot 59, that's extra special. And he said afterwards, talking to our own Amanda, that he wasn't thinking of the 59, he was just thinking of winning. He may have wanted to hit it over a little farther to the right and just play safe there on that second shot at 18. But he had a go and unfortunately didn't come off. But you have to just keep doing what you're doing. You have to let it flow, and that's what he did so well. 28 the front 9, extra special, and then made 4 birdies in a row from 11 through 15. So an amazing round, and you don't have the opportunity to shoot 59 very often in your life. There's only been a couple of handfuls, and that 58, 12 under par at the Travelers Championship by Jim Furyk 7 years ago is the lowest ever. So he had a chance at history.
We have to take Sepp's word for it. No doubt 59 was lingering somewhere back there on the approach at the 72nd hole. But again, it's enough to get it done. Expectation, disappointment, elation, all in the span of an hour here. Ian, before we say goodbye, that New England Patriot charter you guys spoke about on the broadcast going to carry 20-some players from this week's field to next. Scottish Open coming up on CBS, then Open Championship to follow. Can you speak to the challenges and shifting gears for these players? The last 3 weeks yielding so many birdies, the next 2 likely to present far stiffer tests.
Yeah, it's a totally different course. The Renaissance Club there right next door to Muirfield, one of the great famous Open Championship venues. It's great for the players and the caddies and families to jump on this charter. And the fee for going over is donated back to the charities here in the John Deere area. And I think that's a wonderful initiative by the people here. So the guys will enjoy the trip over. Probably a couple of adult beverages on the plane as they head off this evening, certainly for the guys that have played well this week. And then the Renaissance Club's a good test. And then, of course, the Open Championship down in Hoylake in Liverpool the following week. So we're in for a couple of great weeks of golf.
Drinks are on Sepp this go around. Ian, have one for us as well. We appreciate you taking the time and stopping by here on HQ.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it, Joe.
And wouldn't it be nice to step up to your ball and know you're going to stripe it every time? Introducing Tour Response Stripe from TaylorMade. Play in color with performance and alignment it's impossible to ignore. Scan that QR code to learn more.